Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, May 10th. Looking at window traders market profile of the ES and the NQ. So again, today kind of caps off one of the lightest volume weeks we've had in a long time without a holiday involved. We'll go over all the charts and the indices of these three ETFs and futures after we go through today. Let's start with Righty. Righty had a triple distribution day up yesterday. They gapped higher today. Take back the gap. Take back the price probe, the whole trend day from yesterday, and go out with a double distribution day down. Now, they slightly stretched their balance eye in the daily. We'll look at that when we get to the charts. So, pretty much failed on that attempt to come out of balance on the daily to the upside. NQ did come out of balance on the daily, but failed at the weekly balance eye. Got above it, stretched it slightly, and came in. We end in NQ with an 11-wide point of control and the day's high and low. ES goes out with a 10-wide POC. We all gapped higher. We filled the gaps, but that's basically all they wanted to do in ES. Now, NQ definitely got down a lot more than just filling the gap. But ES, for all intents and purposes, really just filled the gap and kind of held right below, we dipped below H's high, which is where change attempted to take place yesterday. So, ended up with totally higher value, and their weekly and daily are up. Pretty much a B shape for us. I had a good day. Again, the volume's horrendous. The range is small. There's a possibility we do under 50 million shares again in SPY. If we do, that'll be our 10 lightest volumes are all under 50 million already this year. It's May 10th. Last year, we only had 3 days in the entire year of volume under 50. I was hoping for some good volatility this year. Right now, maybe they're saving it for late in the summer or the fall, but it's certainly not here right now. Had a good day. We had a great informational, great talk in the afternoon with the room when things were slow with a couple of traders that are struggling and stuff, and that's the great thing. Tell you what, I love this room because you have people always trying to help each other and trying to figure out what they're doing, why they're doing it, and things of that nature. So it's a great group, and I would love for you guys and gals to come check us out. As far as my trading, I traded NQ. Again, the MGI early was in the bulls' favor, so even though we were pulling back, I took longs, did well, because I picked my spots. In A period, I took a long to get the overnight high, which worked very nicely. When we started going back up after the opening, that was a real nice one. It popped really nice for me when I took the long. And then on the ebb and flow in A period, I was long because you had gap, you had value, you had overnight high. Okay? B period on pullbacks, I was taking long. And then when they filled the gap, I took a long, which I got paid on. Then I said, okay, things are changing a bit. We're one time framing down. We filled the gap. And value in NQ got pulled down to overlapping a higher fairly early, although it was still bullish, overlapping a higher. I took a short in NQ to get the IB low, which was a very nice one. And then again, when we came up and filled single prints, was a very nice one because it backed off. So A, B, and C were really nice. D period. We were having trouble holding trend, so took a long. I had some long in NQ and D period, which paid. Now, the only loss I had, and I made it all back and more, was F period. The fact that we couldn't hold trend down in either ES or NQ, and I was telling the room, look, at the time, all the volume, everything's building up down here. Now, a lot of it is just longs liquidating, but there was definitely some shorting going on. Well, if those shorts don't get paid, when you see all this volume building up down here, if you don't go make new lows, at some point they give it up. So in F period, I thought they had a good chance to do that. Took a long in NQ. I think it was at 37. It came in, had a 2 lot, took it off for a 20 Total of a 20-point loss, 10 in each. But I didn't give up. I'm like, we're going to stop this one-time framing. So when G period started and started doing the same thing, when it started going, I'm like, they're going to pop this finally. Took a 6 lot and made 10 points, just quick 10 points on it for 60 points. So took back to 20, I lost and made 40. Then I wanted G to go higher for an afternoon rally high because at the time it was near the park. I'm like, I want to push it higher. Didn't get there, didn't take it. I did short J period, thinking it would be the afternoon rally high. Did okay on that. And then L&M finally took that out. I was tempted to short around halfback and value high in both of these things, but I just, like I told the room, my week was done. I lost the desire to do it. I thought it would be a good risk-reward short. You could have used C's high as you're out in ES, which would have worked. You could have used the opening as you're out in NQ. It would have worked. So we saw the market well. We called it well. And we call it way in advance before things are happening so the room can get prepared for what they want to do if this happens or if that happens. Very important to be in a room that's doing it and telling you why you think something's going to happen before it happens, not just say, okay, I'm long or short after the fact. As far as destinations go, 522.64 is today's high. That's a weekly high in SPY. And by the way, there's only 4 other destinations in SPY to the upside, including the overnight all-time high. Downside, 520.62, 10 wide. 518.93. Why did I write that? I wrote down 518.93. I didn't write down today's low. Today's low in SPY is, sorry about that, 519.59. That afternoon pullback lows from yesterday, so forget that. Okay, and in ES, the high is 64. Look at this. We missed a 25 wide overnight POC from April 10th by 3 ticks. We had a 20 wide one that we got. So our high is 64. That's a weekly high. Our pullback, our POC is 43 1/4, 10 wide. And today's low is 32.75. So let's go to the charts and break down what's going on here. Okay? So we're going to start first with IWM. Let's get to the monthly, though. So, I mean, we can go pretty quickly through this. IWM is in balance. It's right now, again, it's subjective if you want to call it a 3-month balance. March, April, May. Do you want to incorporate these 2 months also, have a 5-month? It depends. We'll see how May goes. But right now, bottom line is we're balanced, and it's an inside month, 10 days in. The weekly, now this is where subjective comes in. That's why it's an art, not a science. Some people might call this up. Some people might call it balanced because we didn't take out this weekly high or barely took it out. Did we take it out? We did not. We missed it by 30-something cents. I'll probably call it up for now. You want to call it balanced and use a 5-week balance? That's fine. But I'll give the bulls their due. They're one-time framing up 2 weeks out of an inside week. If we take out this week's low next week, firmly back to balance. But for now, I'll call them up. But I have no problem if you want to call this a 5-week balance. And the daily is balance. Because for my money's worth, they only stretch the balance. I would probably incorporate this whole thing, 6-day balance. This is the low, right above that gap, and today is the high of your balance. So the monthly and daily are balanced in righty, and the weekly is up. How I'm looking at it. NQ and Qs, balance on the monthly, right? I would call this a 4-month balance. February, March, April, and May. It's an inside month so far, so it's a 4-month balance. The weekly, again, do you want to call it up or you want to call it balanced? Now, we did take out this high. And did we take it out? Yeah, we did, yes. I'm calling the weekly. Oh, I didn't realize that. So Qs took out that whole high, but NQ didn't. That's very interesting. So in triple Q's case, I would probably call the weekly up. In NQ's case, I'm calling it balance because we only took out this weekly high of April 15th by a little bit. So I'm still calling that balance for NQ. So monthly and weekly balance and the daily is up. We broke out of a 4-day balance to the upside. Okay? Horrendous volume. Now let's go to the S&P. And by the way, speaking of SPY, like the triple Q and NQ, SPY filled all those single prints from April 4th. ES didn't even get into them on the way up. So 3-month balance for now on the S&P, inside month, right? Weekly is up. Weekly for me is clearly up. This is the week that I wanted to take out from April 15th. We did. So the weekly is clearly up. And the daily is also up. I called the daily up yesterday coming out of a 3-day balance. But again, oh wow, we're at 50 million already? Oh, we're not going to even be in the top 10 lightest volume. I don't know how the hell we did that, but we did about 7 million shares already in the after hours. That's very interesting. All right, so we're not going to be in the top 10 lightest volume, but it stinks. And our volume for the week is under 236 million. That is one of the lightest volumes we've had in a long, long time. And it's not far off the all-time highs. So our higher prices choking off volume. Certainly seems that way. Anyway, I hope you had a great week trading. Really appreciate you liking and subscribing to this channel. Come check us out at camelbacktrading.org. Enjoy your weekend. Rest up, and we'll speak prior to the opening on Monday. And happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.